Welcome at Berggasse 19 in the Sigmund Freud Museum in Vienna. We opened at the end of August after a major renovation and reorganization, and now I would like to take you on a tour. Please follow me. So here we are at the origin of psychoanalysis, where Freud lived for 47 years with his family and arrived at the mezzanine. We can choose to enter on one side Freud's former private apartment or his practice, and we will ring the bell to step into Freud's private apartment now. So here we are in the entrance and wardrobe of Freud's apartment. And this showcase you can see here in the center of the wardrobe is dedicated to Freud's early years. And Freud started with his self-analysis, and therefore we present here his autobiographical studies, called in German Selbstdarstellung. So this is the introduction to Freud's person and life. The next room is the so-called Herrenzimmer. It's the gentleman's saloon. And our concept is following the main red line. So we connect the items and the contents that are presented in the showcases that were designed extra for the new presentation and exhibition about work and life of Freud by Hermann Czech and Gerhard Flora. And here is the center of dreams, so we can call it. It's Freud's former sleeping room. And what is really interesting, that we found a film still where we can see how Freud's former sleeping room looked like. And in this center of this very private space, we present the interpretation of dreams, the founding document of psychoanalysis. Now we are in the very intimate space of the former bathroom and dressing room of the Freud family. And so we have, for the very first time, the chance also to speak and tell about the fates of the family members. So what you see here is the chronology of the Freud family and their biographies, with wonderful original photographs that were collected by Anna Freud in their family album. So here we are in the kitchen of the private apartment, and we removed the kitchen to implement a new staircase. And this new staircase gives us now the possibility to present a very important aspect that is inscribed into the history of the house too. After Freud left Vienna, the Nazis changed the function of the apartments and they erected so-called collection apartments. Approximately 80 Jews were prisoned here to wait for the deportation into concentration camps. Here we are in the wardrobe of Freud's practice, and as you can see, it's a very original interior, one of the very few that remained. And there was a very young photographer in May 1938, and he was asked to take photographs from Freud's practice and also private apartment. And that's why we know that this is the very original interior that Freud designed and renovated when he moved from the upper ground floor to the mezzanine to open here his practice. The following room is the very famous waiting room. But not only Freud's patients were sitting here waiting for the next session. It was also the meeting point of the so-called Psychological Wednesday Society. That means that in this furniture, on these seats, on this couch, that was given to the museum by Anna Freud, Freud's youngest daughter, so that one room give you and all the visitors of the museum an impression how it looked like before. So what is very important for the new concept is that you see texts on the white part of the wall, because the room, the house itself, the origin of psychoanalysis is the exhibit. And therefore there are texts on the walls that tell you about the former function and meaning of the room. So here we're on the space, on the spot, where the very important psychoanalytic couch stood in former times. And as you might know, Freud was lucky enough to take all his belongings with him when he was forced to go to his exile to London. So he also took this icon of psychoanalysis, the couch, with him. And this was the spot and the place where the patients of Freud were laying, telling about their anxieties and dreams. And Freud was sitting behind them. The patients spoke in free association. So this was the spot where the patients developed together with Freud the treatment of psychoanalysis, the so famous talking cure. So how to treat this very special space in a curatorial way, that was a very important question for us. And a lot of people ask me, Monika, please make something like a reenactment. Give something like a couch on this place, or try to get the original couch so that we have the feeling Freud just left the room 5 minutes ago. But you know, that's not possible, because this way of presentation would deny the darkest days of our history. And therefore, we decided just to mark this empty space, also as a metaphor, and tells us about the loss of humanity and culture through the Second World War and the Holocaust. And the only thing that remained are the holes of the nails. With them, Freud pinned the carpet behind his couch, as you can see also on this fragment of Edmond's photographs. So our visitors have to envision in order to see. Freud only took notes after, never during the sessions. He did so sitting at his desk, which was placed here in front of the window. Here we can see one very important original item. And it is the mirror that Anna brought back in 1971 when the museum was opened for the first time. And she put it on the handle where it was on its original space. During their first consultation, Freud's patients could look at their own reflection at a mirror, a fitting metaphor in psychoanalysis for looking at one's inner self. This is the door to the walk-through room, a discreet exit so patients could leave Freud's practice unnoticed. The new concept of the reopened Sigmund Freud Museum includes 3 permanent exhibitions and 2 contemporary changing exhibitions. The one is dedicated to a wonderful American artist, to Robert Longer, who is famous for his social political work. Longer's showroom installation coincidentally depicts a very current motif: the image of a crashing wave as a menacing yet powerful visual symbol of our current individual and collective fears in times of the coronavirus crisis. For me as an art historian, it was very exciting to move away from a white cube presentation concept. So we integrated important pieces of our concept art collection into these rooms of historical significance. And it became quickly noticeable that the work started corresponding with the former meaning of the space, like this piece by Austrian artist Helmut Sobernik.
And he refers to an event that Freud told in a letter to his colleague and friend Wilhelm Fliess. And he wrote to him, "Do you suppose that someday a marble tablet will be placed on the house inscribed with these words? In this house on July 24th, 1895, the secret of dreams was revealed to Dr. Sigmund Freud. The function of the dreams is wish fulfillment. So this was a really crucial point in the development of Freud's interpretation of dreams. What is really amazing is that the couch Liège by Franz West is placed in the former treatment room, here where Freud welcomed his so-called hysteria patients. And of course, this metal couch made by West is something different. So a lot of visitors looking at it ask me, that's not that cozy couch we are used to have in a therapy room. Of course not. But what this object is telling us, the couch, is something like an instrument for psychoanalysis, for instance. And also the other works start to have a shift in their meaning a little bit because of the spatial context they are presented in. So here we are in Freud's study, where he was sitting on his writing desk, writing the interpretation of dreams. And we thought it is a really good idea to put the installation by Ilya Kabakov exactly on this place.
This wonderful piece titled "The Man Who Flew into His Picture" is about the artist getting absorbed into this bright, empty canvas, a metaphor for the artist's search for truth and new insights into art and the human psyche.
So here we're in the kitchen of Freud's practice, and I thought it is a good place to put here Avido, a wonderful piece by Pier Paolo Calzolari, who is such a sensitive and wonderful artist because he's dealing and working with this very daily material, how he is connecting the materials with each other, and it's about the state of the material. And this light that brightens this kitchen, where not Freud himself, but his women, so to speak, was cooking for him and doing everything, serving him. And so this Avido is about gender conflict. It's about sexual perversions too, and therefore also a topic that is such important for our psyche development and negotiated in art as well as in Freud's psychoanalysis.